Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Jay from the JCast Podcast coming at you with another video. I want to talk about a video that I saw kind of making the rounds earlier today. It was about a guy talking about a...
Hey, what are you doing? I came out to check on you.
Huh?
What are you doing? Thought you were working.
I'm looking at this.
What is it?
It's wire. It's a spool of wire. And I'm almost out of it. Can you see the spool of wire?
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost out of it.
Okay.
And I've had this spool of wire for like 40 years. I bought it like this it's not a piece of, a long time ago, but it's like 40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone. Does that make sense? This is what's left. Does that make
I'm
sense?
sorry to hear that, and it's sad for you, but you're wearing your Jets hat, and I'm a little concerned right now that you're wearing your Jets hat. I thought that's why you were crying.
Okay, I'm done.
He had in his hand a metal pipe with what seemed to be fiber optic around it, and he was getting a little emotional because it seems like the fiber optic was like his life, and the more he's used it, the more he's seen it dwindle. It reminds him of life, and I guess he was getting a little emotional about it. And I guess when you find yourself in those moments, some random object, some random thing makes you feel like it kind of just brings a rush of memories. The guy was probably thinking about some of the friends he's lost, some of the friends, that maybe like they're not here anymore, his youth, all that stuff. And it just brought a whole bunch of memories, and I guess he was having a moment to himself. And his wife comes out, and his wife comes out and starts seemingly kind of mocking him to the point where it's like he's like, you know what, never mind. And it's just kind of a reminder to anybody, not to the men, because I guess the men know what's going on, but to just most of society and women on why men don't open up. And I'm not saying that you gotta be, as a guy, you gotta be out here crying after every movie or whatever the case is, but every so often men will have those moments, and I guess society finds it kind of weird or strange, and they just mock them or laugh at them or I just find it weird. And this was no exception. And this was his wife who knows him for all these years. So if his wife mocks him, the message that it sends to all the other guys is, if this is a guy's wife who mocks him, what do you think the rest of society is gonna do to you? What do you think of your current girlfriend or your wife is gonna do to you? And so a lot of guys most likely took that and said, yeah, screw this, I'm never gonna open up. And that's why guys have to have friends, right? Guys have to have friends that they can talk to and relate to, because at least those guys won't, for the majority of them, 99% won't mock them, because they at least understand. From one guy to another, they'll understand. So it's important to have friends you can talk to, hang out with, maybe have a couple of drinks with, or go fishing with, whatever the case is. Make sure you cultivate relationships. Those of you who are young, make sure you cultivate relationships that you guys can take with you when you're older and stuff like that. Doesn't mean you're gonna have to put up with all the nonsense, but the friendships worth keeping, make sure you put work into them and effort and cultivate those relationships so that you can at least have somebody to talk to, and also so you can be somebody that somebody can talk to as well. It's not, give and take. So you don't have to depend on your wife. And to be fair, right, you wouldn't want to put all that on one person all the time, every day. You know what I mean? So that's another thing too. A funny thing is, a lot of the comments, I guess they were saying, from what I understand, they were saying that the guy should break up with her and dump her and divorce her. It's like, guys, that's just one slither of the relationship that you saw. You don't know anything that goes on in that relationship. You know what I mean? You don't know if this woman has done so much for him, and she just got caught off guard here, and she didn't know what to do or how to act, and that happened. Now, why they were recording with camera, that in and of itself is a bit weird, but they even wrote a book together. But you shouldn't, unless somebody's getting, their hands put on them, or hands put on them, you shouldn't really advise anybody on relationships. You guys don't know what goes on in those relationships. To say, hey, dump this person right away, I wouldn't put up with a divorce or blah, blah, this and the other. Some people do that, but that's because that's the last straw. You don't know. You guys don't know. So yeah, it sucks that happened, but you also shouldn't be opining on relationships because you don't know the entirety of relationships. So moral of the story is actually two. Make sure you guys have friends that you hang out with and you talk to, and that it's a give and take relationship, so that they can talk to you as well. And don't get involved in people's relationships unless somebody's being physically, having their hands put on them. And guys, have somebody to talk to. Even if you got to pay a therapist or a bartender, anybody. All right? If you carry that stuff too much, it starts affecting you in ways that you don't want it to affect you. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe.